Greetings everyone, this is Rather here, and just as I thought, the Coral Defenders ended up being quite a difficult task. I tried my very best, but I was just barely off the maximum score. And thus, these are the multipliers I ended up going with. These are my buffs, and this is my final team setup. Oh, and I'm also still using the usual food buffs, along with the electro damage potion. As for the strategy, well, the main difficulty comes from the fact that there are two enemies that can drain your energy. And their elemental resistances only leave you with Cryo, Electro, Geo, and Anemo. I don't have Shenhe, so Cryo was out of the question. I tried using It though, but him being burst locked made that not viable. Wanderer didn't have the multi-target DPS, and Xiao had problems with energy and the fact that these two enemies jump around the arena so much. And also because I don't have powers on C6. And that only left me with elemental skill oriented electro characters. Another big problem is this huge pillar in the center that you need a Claymore character or Zhongli for, which ends up being really restrictive because suddenly you might not have Kazuha on your team anymore. And that combined all together should probably explain why my team looks the way it looks. You really want AoE, but Beidou wasn't reliable enough, so I ended up going with Yae Miko and Fischl. And after many runs, I was able to get a run that was so close, but yet so far. This is the run you're seeing right now. All the stars must have been aligned for this specific run because I was unable to replicate this run again. All the other runs didn't even come close, and I have literally no clue what I did differently. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for this run, I guess. As for the marathon run, I had to reduce the timer to 500 seconds, and because every single elemental resistance is presented, I had to reduce one of them. And I chose Hydro because I'm using Xingqiu and Yelan because, of course I am. I chose the appropriate buffs, and I had Hu Tao join as well. I'm not gonna show you the entire run because that would be way too long, so instead I'm gonna show you snippets of what happened. The Thirst boss is practically a carbon copy of the Thirst challenge but with 20% extra Hydro resistance. The second boss is almost a carbon copy of the second challenge, except this time it has Pyro resistance instead of Hydro resistance. And the third boss is completely different than the third challenge, but it follows the same idea as the second challenge. I even fucked up the double kill and had to spend an extra 40 seconds to kill the Thirst guy again, but I still had enough time to complete the challenge. If you're wondering about my Electro builds, I'll just slap it on the screen right now. There you go. And other than that, that's the end of this event. I'll probably see you again in Fontaine. But until then, take care everyone.